Welcome to the Expert Speaker Podcast with Dr. Mark T. Wade, founder of Virtual Summits. We're talking all things virtual summits. Welcome, Dr. Mark.
Thank you, Majeed. Such an honor to be here. Excited to jump in.
I'm so proud to be a part of the 100 epic summit hosts that you have interviewed on your summit to top all summits. I've been behind the scenes to see a master at work. And what I shared is how we use summits to build our lists, to increase our sales, to increase exposure for our clients who are expert speakers, and even drive sales for them. I loved when I found webinars, and I think of summits as like webinars on steroids because it's a better promotion platform. There's cross promotion across speakers. I'm loving it. So tell us about the Summit Talks Summit that you are launching right now.
It is an epic event that we're putting together, mainly because it's got you on it. You definitely have to come in and check Majeed's session. His talk gives away some incredible information. It was one of my top 5 favorites out of all of them. So definitely check his out. Well, the point here, Majeed, is, right now is the time to go virtual. If you haven't already implemented some type of virtual event into your business, there's no more waiting. Like it needs to happen. Now, with that being said, like, how do you get started? What do you do? And can you even do it? Like these are common questions that pop up around me on a daily basis. So my thought process was, okay, I want to create a resource, an epic place people can go and get everything they need to know how to do a summit and what type of summit to do. But I didn't want it to be the Mark show, right? I didn't want it to just be me telling people how to do it or what to do, because I always hear the question of, can I do a summit? Well, what about my niche? What about my industry? Would a summit work in my space? So what we actually did was we brought over 100 summit hosts from all different industries, vectors, niches, spaces, and had them share what they did on their summit. So now it's not like a professional summit coach telling you that you should do summit. You're hearing somebody that had never done a summit before and did 3 months later after their summit, all of a sudden their business is booming. They have an audience, they have connections, and they say, look, this worked, this didn't, do that. So it's really just the spot to go in and get one, tactical aspects of how to do a summit, but 2, also to hear from people just like yourselves on how they were able to do it and avoid some of the mistakes that they made on their journey.
And I love listening to the interviews because these are like top entrepreneurs. And we had a meeting amongst a bunch of your guests, your summit host guests, and I was blown away at the caliber. Like, to me, some of these people are celebrities, and I love seeing them use your software. I'll share with you my first experience with an online summit. I had a buddy who is like a tech whiz. He builds websites and, he gets into the code and all this. And he spent months building individual web pages and embedding YouTube videos and having time triggered emails. And I concluded when I saw what he was doing that I could never do that because I'm not like a internet tech genius. When you first showed me how your software works, I was blown away. It's like fill in the blank, copy paste, press a button, and boom, there's a summit. Actually, if you're watching this and you want to see what our last summit looked like, it's expertspeakersummit.com. And if you go there, that webpage is built by Mark's software called Virtual Summit Software. And I've had it now so that I just do the interviews and my assistant can build the summit. And that's great. She goes in and she watches your training video, Mark, which are very brief and to the point and very helpful, and just uses your software and just a couple of clicks and we have a summit built. All of that, what used to take my tech whiz buddy months, is now being done in minutes. We intend in this year to do a summit every month, and it's a very small part of, in time wise, it takes only hours to build a summit, and every single summit we have, we grow our lists significantly. So we're really, really enjoying it.
Yeah, it's in my opinion, is one of the most powerful online marketing strategies, period. And here's the cool thing. Like, it's not a new strategy. It's not like we all of a sudden invented like this magical thing. This thing has been around since 2005. Melinda Lashinsky did the first ever telesummit. This was back when they were using phones to call in. She did a coaching telesummit. And then since then, it's just continued to grow. It went from telesummits to online summits to now virtual summits. And with that, the tech has obviously evolved to make it much easier and simpler. But the strategy overall is the same. You take a problem that a specific audience has, or a series of problems, and you solve it by bringing in some topic experts, niche experts, or influencers to talk on those problems. It's typically free to attend. So for the audience, this is an amazing value. Like, I get to come in and take my knowledge to expert level on a specific topic by the world's leading experts. And some differences, which I think are important, is because, people say, well, is this a webinar or is this a course? Is this similar? Well, it's like, if I want to get certified in something, for example, I'm going to take a course and it may take me months to go through it. And I'm being taught by one person usually. The summit host has already done all the work for you. They vetted all the people, and now you're getting the top, most current, recent information, not stuff that was out a year ago, current information by all of the experts, not just one expert. So if you're looking to take your knowledge to the highest level possible in the shortest amount of time, a summit's the place to do it. So this is one of the reasons I really love summits from my standpoint of participating on them. Now, that's what the whole point of the summit talks is, to help people take their knowledge on how to implement a summit to that level of being able to know what they should do their summit on, how they should do the summit, and having the tactical kind of tools to be able to do it in a very short amount of time.
Super cool. Mark, I'll tell you, about a year ago, I was invited to speak on a summit, and I didn't really know what to expect. And I think there were 10 other speakers or so. And I did my summit interview, and I figured that was kind of the end. And the summit host said, give us a link to your prize giveaway or your gift to our audience. And I gave away a link to my free book, as well as I gave them a link to book a strategy call with me. And about a week goes by, and they gave us the promotional email, copy and paste. I just copy and paste and send it out to my list. My list at the time was about 2,000 people, and I assumed that was probably an average. So call it 10 people, 2,000 each, 20,000 people reached. Well, one day I'm checking my email, and it said, like, I logged in, and my whole inbox was new opt-in, new opt-in, new opt-in, new opt-in. And I had no idea where it was coming from, because I forgot the summit was being launched. And my calendar just started popping new strategy calls. And I'm like, this is amazing. How is this happening? And I don't think they were doing any ads, but it was just the power of everybody emailing their list at the same time. So we took that same effect for our clients. Now, let's say my clients all have about 1,000 average. And let's say out of the 1,000, 100 new opt-ins from each person's list, our list grew by 1,000 opt-ins because all of our clients are promoting their talk on our summit. My clients are getting clients, they're making sales from their talk, because I help people design a talk that gets sales. That's what I shared on our interview, Mark, when you had me on your summit, is how to give a talk that makes sales and how to tell stories that make sales. So it's our number one strategy to give a platform to our speakers. It's our number one strategy to grow our list. We don't run ads at all, Mark. So we are so happy. And we just have this one link. We say, share this one link to your list. And then we get the opt-ins, we get the views of the speeches. And it's just the power of community. What I used to do is I would say, I'm going to find someone with a list. I'm going to ask to give a talk, and I'm going to ask them to promote to their list. And then we do the talk and we make sales. This is like doing that times 10 with 10 different speakers. So what I'm doing next, Mark, is I'm using this as a relationship building strategy. So as you know, I like to speak to communities of doctors to help doctors speak to sell. And my next summit is going to be called The Future of Medicine. And I'll invite you, Mark, as you're a former chiropractor, and you can talk about the power of summits for doctors. I'll invite Krista Burns, who leads a community of doctors. I'll invite Megan Walker, who leads a community of doctors, Sacha Patel, Maggie Berghoff. And what this does for me and them is it not only showcases them, but it also deepens our relationship. That's one of the things about podcast interviews and webinars and summits is it gets us to spend this quality time afterwards. We're like, man, you're so great. I'm so great. What else can we do together? So as you know, business in large part is about relationships, connections, and partnerships and that sort of thing. And I think, I could call up any one of those people and have a private phone conversation and catch up with them. But why not do that in a way that showcases them, that pulls out their brilliance, that gives them some exposure, which we do through the summit. So it's a great relationship building tool, a network building tool, partnership building tool as well.
Yeah, we actually, inside of Summit Talks, we broke it down. We get, you know me, I'm the doctor on the front of my name just means I'm a nerd, right? I'm a huge nerd. And so when it comes to summits, like I am the biggest nerd. So when we were building out Summit Talks, I didn't want it to just be like any other summit. Like you mentioned the 1-day summit, which, was one of the techniques I invented about 5 years ago, is this 1-day summit. So if somebody's sitting there listening going, well, 100 plus speakers, 10 days, that sounds like a lot. Well, we actually designed it so that each day is a 1-day summit. So it's a series of 1-day summits put together. So you can kind of come in, get what you want, either pop in, day out, or what we also did is we made sure that it was really, really specific so that people could get exactly what they wanted and maybe not watch the other ones that they don't need at the moment. So we did it 2 different ways. One, we broke it down by different summit types. So if you're like, I want the full shebang. I want a huge event. I want everybody to know me. I want to build my list massively. Maybe you want to do a multi-day summit. But if you're like, well, maybe I'm a little timid and a little busy right now, maybe like I just want to dip my toes in. Well, then we have 1-day summit. So we have every day we have the different types of summits represented. So you can hear from somebody who did a 1-day summit, a micro summit, a summit series, etc. But then I took it to another level as well, and I said, look, we've got 4 main groups of people or objectives, goals that are wanted. So let's also filter it in the summit by those goals. So you can watch a type of summit, or you can go, hey, I'm a creator. So for example, our first group is creators, course creators, content creators, YouTubers, bloggers, online coaches, etc. People who are selling their creative material. And so you can actually go in and watch somebody just like you who used the summit to sell more of their creatives. The next one is our audience builder. People who already have something going, like I've got a business, I'm making money, but if I had a bigger audience, I'd make a lot more money. So they're going to be able to go in and watch the sessions like our John Lee Dumases, like our Krista Burns, who are able to build these mega audiences, empires by growing their audience. And then the last 2 are a little bit less, but still very important is one is our side hustlers, right? The ones that you've got your job, you've got something going, but you got this passion on the side that you'd really like to go full in on, but you're not just going to leave your job and take the risk without this thing going. So you're going to hear from other people just like you who are able to use a summit to actually build that business big enough to leave their 9 to 5 and go in on that. And then the final one is like our newest group, our audience, which is our event hosts, right? So in-person event hosts now are like, I've got to go virtual, either all or some. And this isn't just conferences though, Majeed. This is our retreats. This is workshops. This is masterminds. This is even people who hold meetups for friends and groups. So you can go in and listen to other in-person event hosts, how they were able to take their event virtual and the challenges they experienced, how they overcame those, and the successes. So we really have broken this down into like, you can go in and you can like binge out the whole thing and be a summit warrior, or you can go in each day and get the specific knowledge you want and really start implementing it. Plus, we incorporated some live stream components. So it's not just pre-recorded interviews. There's masterclass sessions. There's also live streaming sessions as well. So and we're going to have some fun in the evenings. And we got some panels. Hopefully Majeed will be one of our speakers on there so you can come and talk with them live. We're even doing a mastermind one day. So if you're really serious about getting your summit to that next level, we're going to have a live mastermind where you'll be able to work on it in real time. So we're doing some pretty cool stuff with this summit for sure. But the ultimate goal, Majeed, the ultimate measure is I want you to be able to come in, anybody listening to this right now, I want you to be able to come in, understand what you could do a summit on, how you could do a summit, and get those first initial steps to getting your summit going.
Yeah, I'd like to play with those live features, Mark. I've only ever done the pre-recorded interviews so that when people show up to the summit on the day, they have the choice of which talks they want to watch. They can watch as many or as few as they want. So that's cool. Can you tell me, I don't know of any other competitors or any other summit software platforms out there, Mark, but what are some of the key features that differentiate yours?
Oh, excellent question, Majeed. Now, so first off, ours was the first one to market. There are other platforms that have now come to market since then. However, some of the differentiating factors is a lot. There are no other ones that are 100% for summits. Other platforms are like, oh, we do webinars and we're going to use summits to kind of like give us a niche in the marketplace. So ours is 1000% focused on summits and what's the best way to do summits. So we do summits best. The second aspect to that, though, some of the actual features, it's our principle from the very beginning has always been the quickest and easiest way to do a summit. So some of these other platforms, they've got so many either robust features or like little deep, like tactic, like all these things that most people go into it and they go, oh my God, I can't do a summit. Like it's going to take me a year to figure all of this out to even do it. Like my original litmus test when I actually created the software was my beautiful partner, both in life and business, Dr. Krista Burns, one of the smartest women on the planet, multiple doctorates, etc. But when it comes to tech, she seems to just have a little bit of a block there. So anytime there's a tech thing, it's always, Mark, can you help me with it? So the ultimate goal was I wanted Dr. Krista to be able to use Virtual Summit software and not have to ask me for help. And it passed that litmus test. So super easy to use, no tech skill needed, no team needed, as you've already mentioned. The other thing, like as far as features are concerned, one, we have our speaker management feature, which we're the only one to have this, which allows your speakers to kind of come in and they can insert their own information into it. So it saves you, it's like having a VA on your team essentially, but it also has the reminder feature where it will literally follow up with those speakers if they have not given you their headshot or given you their social links or whatever. And then the biggest one, the one that actually kind of changed the game in the summit industry is our Ever Summit feature. So the problem with summits historically is they were incredible for building an audience. They are the number one tool to quickly build your audience when they were live. After they ended, people use what is called an evergreen version, which means it's old, it's over, but I can still sell it. I'll sell it as a product. So those work great. You sell it up sales, down sales, flash sales, affiliate sales. But when generating the leads for it, they didn't work as well because human nature, human psychology is when we see something's over, we think it's old. And if it's old, it's no longer good. So most people weren't able to continue to use their summit for building a list, which is the number one reason to do a summit. What we did is we created a feature with one click of a button, the summit software will rerun your summit as if it was live, ongoing forever. So not like live stream, but like as if it was still good. So you choose, do you want it to be once a week, twice a month, once a month? Let's say we choose it weekly. So anybody who comes to the landing page sees the summit starts next Tuesday. Well, once that they go in, they opt in, they go through the summit ends, they go back to the landing page, they see, summit's over, registration's over, please upgrade to keep access. However, all new traffic to that same landing page sees summit starts next Tuesday. So it really changed the game. I mean, we could spend hours on features, but those are some of the biggest ones. Keeping it the quickest and easiest, speaker management feature, plus that Ever Summit feature really has set us apart from most of the other softwares out there.
We love that speaker management feature because we can just send a link and our speakers fill out, which is what typically, give me your headshot, give me your title, give me your name, your email, your bio. And that's the stuff that we're always trying to like capture and gather. And that's kind of the heavy lifting of putting together a summit. And that feature really simplifies it.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a tactical question. One of my friends asked me, and I put her in touch with you, Genevieve, and her question was, should I charge for my summit or not? I've never charged for my summit, but I know you've done very well with it, and I'd love to know your opinion on the nuance of whether to charge or not.
So those would be, we have most summits, like 90% of all summits are going to be our free summits, free to attend. Those are like list builders. The number one goal of a summit, or let me rephrase that. one of the biggest values of a summit is building the relationship with the speakers, but also the relationship with audience. So we call it our relationship building strategy. Our monetization strategy comes after. That's our post-summit profit strategy. And summits will generate revenue on the summit, but I would be totally okay with them breaking even just to have that engaged audience that I can then send to my next offer, which is how for us, most of our summits average about $250,000 because of that post-summit profit strategy. However, with that being said, if you have an audience already and you're a business owner, one of the hard things to do is like coming up with new things to sell to that same audience. It's like, I got to constantly create something, build something new, do something new. Well, you could just create a one-day summit, which is really very easy for you because you just have to do 5 or 6 interviews essentially. You package it into the summit, and now you can do what we call a premium summit, where it's paid access. Now you want to put some extra flair into it. Don't just make it plain interviews. You really want to put solid content in it, but then you can sell that to your audience. So what I would say is, if you already have an audience and you're looking for a way to monetize that audience, a premium summit would be very powerful and very beneficial. If you're still trying to build your audience, then you don't want to put a blockage on the front of that. You don't want to have it paid. You want it to be free because the whole goal is to get them in and have them engage and interact with you. That being said, people are going, Mark, how are you making money on a summit if it's free? You've said that like a couple of times now. Good point there, audience. Thanks for holding me accountable to that. So the reason that where the money comes from that is after the summit ends, it is like a conference in the sense of once these sessions end, they're over, they're closed. Okay, you got them for free. They're worth thousands of dollars. You got them for free during this period of time. Once it ends, they're closed and they're no longer available. This is for 2 reasons. One reason is we are looking for people to show up and engage. This is why a summit is so powerful versus like a webinar, which has like 10% show up rates, right? If they don't actually show up on the summit, they don't get the material. So they show up, they engage with it, and then when it ends, it's closed. Now at this point, for all my entrepreneurs out there that don't love salesy selling, okay, they like they like it to be value add selling, or what we would call soft selling, and I think both are appropriate and powerful. But if you like soft selling, that's the perfect thing as a summit. A summit is like, hey, here you go. This is free, amazing value. If you like that, maybe you'll like this. And if you want it, you can have it. It's $97 or whatever. So the money comes with purchasing what we call the summit offer or the all access pass. That allows people to get extra benefits, extra access to certain things. Like for us on Summit Talks, if you choose to buy a summit pass, which is not mandatory, you can totally binge out on everything for free. But if you buy the summit pass, you actually get to be on the Zooms during the live streams with all the speakers. You get to be front row seats. So we throw in some extra benefits for those people who want to take more, who want to engage more, who want to go further. Everybody else still gets an amazing experience. And of course, they would maintain access to the recordings after the summit ends. There's bonuses we offer. We'll get some really cool resources from speakers and thrown in. So that's kind of the difference between free, paid, and even with the free where monetization can happen.
Good strategy. So you have the free option, you have the paid option. Cool. Mark, what's your story? You were a chiropractor. How did you become a Summit software founder?
Well, one night I was out in the desert and the aliens came and no, I'm just joking. So I'm a postural neurologist by trade. I have a couple doctorates. One's in chiropractic, one's in public health. So clinical, academic, as well as about 30 something certifications in neurology and neuroscience. And I was running one of the most successful posture correction clinics in the country for about a decade. And we decided we want to expand, but we didn't really want to open up more clinics. So I wanted to help more people, but I didn't want to actually have clinics everywhere. So I decided to kind of take a step out into the online space, online business, thinking like, how hard can that be, right? I'm a postural neurologist. It didn't take long for reality to smack me in the face and tell me just how difficult it could be. So I was literally thinking about packing it up, just going back to the clinic and just staying with that. My dad was saying like, what are you doing, kid? You're a doctor. Why are you trying to be this entrepreneur online thing? When I heard my buddy, Pat Flynn from Smart Passive Income, talk about this concept of a virtual summit. So I said, you know what? Tried everything else. I'm going to give this thing a whirl. If it works, awesome. If it doesn't, I just go back to the clinic. And again, my first summit, it took 7 different pieces of software, 26 plugins, cost me close to $7,000, and took over 100 hours for me to build it, and still looked like a third grader did it. So with that being said, the summit actually had some success. We generated about 5,000 leads, 5,000 attendees, and we made around $32,000. So that was the first success we really had online. And the cool thing is, the backbone of that summit, we ended up creating a certification around. That certification became $1 million certification. That company became a multi-million-dollar company. So we found something that worked. We doubled down, tripled down, quadrupled down in it. We were running 2 to 4 multi-day summits and 4 to 8 one-day summits every year in that business, and still to this day in every business. But I was frustrated. I'm like, why is it so hard to do a summit? Like, I had a team of 5 working full time to help me do these summits. And I'm like, a course, a webinar, but a summit is so difficult. And that's when I got the next idea of, well, there's nothing out there right now. Let's just build the thing that will let you do it. And that's where Virtual Summit Software came about. And then once I got a taste of helping people get their message out to the world, I was hooked. So I went all in, and I've been doing that ever since.
Well, I've never seen anybody so passionate about summits. I think you have really inspired a lot of people to try it, and they've become evangelists like myself. I recommend it to all my clients. How often do you run ads to get registrations in your summits?
Usually once a year. Well, so we do a lot of summits, right? So depending on the goal of the summit, depends on our direction or our strategy with the summit. So I run a lot of cool summits. I usually don't just do your typical educational summits. Like, we have a summit called Summit Scripts, which is about specifically for summit hosts on how to generate email copy communication sequences for their summits. Never run ads for those. If we do a mega summit, which is what Summit Talks is, where we have 100 plus speakers, we're really pouring everything we have into this. We're giving lots of stuff away for free. Like, even during the summit, we got bonuses, gift cards, things like that we're giving away to the attendees and the audience. And on top of that, we're also throwing in our $500 virtual summit starter kit just for signing up. We sell that inside of our community for $500. You get it for free. In instances like this, when I have so many people on this summit and a message so important like this that I want people to hear, then we'll run some ads. But usually, when I teach summits to people, I say, don't run ads, okay? Unless you are experienced at running ads or have somebody you already pay to run ads, don't run ads. A virtual summit is a collaborative marketing strategy. The promotion typically comes from the speakers all promoting it to their audience, so everybody gets exposure in different arenas. The one type of ad I would say is safe to run, opposite of what I've just said, would be retargeting ads, because it's pretty simple to do, it's relatively inexpensive, and those are pretty effective. So don't run ads unless you got people or you know what you're doing. And if you're going to run ads, do a retargeting ad for people who've hit the opt-in page, or the summit homepage, as we call it, and bounce out.
Awesome. Great advice. Dr. Mark T. Wade, you are a wealth of knowledge and enthusiasm, the leader of the Summit Revolution. I am grateful to be a part of this summit and happy to have you on my summit, because you are such an inspiring marketer with a big heart. And I think we got to get this technology into the hands of doctors. I'm advising my clients, the one who's the women's hormone expert. Well, let's get 10 women's hormone expert speakers on your summit. Oh, this is another thing, Mark, that I love to show the people who I'm encouraging to do summits is it's a great authority builder. You could take a year and write a book, and then you're the author of the women's hormone book. Or you can take a couple weeks and do a summit, and you're the creator of the Women's Hormone Summit, which I think is just as effective as a indicator of leadership and authority. So I think that's really cool. You make a summit, you're all of a sudden creator of the summit on the topic that you're the expert in.
I can't remember if it was you who told me about this. Obviously after 100 interviews, some of them kind of blend together, but one of you Canadians over there was telling me specifically on the authority side of it, I think it was you, but how somebody, you know, a friend, a colleague, or a client decided in the cannabis space to run the Canadian Cannabis Summit. Like when you talk about authority, you can't get much more authority than I say, I'm the host of the Canadian Cannabis Summit. It's immediate authority, right?
Yeah, I think that was me. I think that's one of my clients, and she is the Canadian Cannabis Authority that nobody knows about. So, you know, having the summit and being the host of the summit is huge credibility. And then because it's evergreen, anybody she meets in the future, she could say, yeah, I'm the host of the Canadian Cannabis Summit. Here, let me send you the link. You can watch all of our talks. Very, very powerful. All right, brother. Good to see you. And I'll be seeing you live in person in a couple of weeks. Looking forward to it.
All right, brother. I always appreciate it. Thank you very much. And anybody, look, check out Summit Talks. If nothing else, watch Majeed's talk. It was phenomenal. Like I said, one of the top 5 out of the whole thing. You're going to get inspired. You're going to get motivated. You might shed a tear, but you are for sure going to walk away with some information, some knowledge, and a tool for your tool belt to help you grow your business.
And I'm going to provide you with a unique link so that when you register for free for this summit, you'll know, or Mark will know, that you are a friend of mine. So you'll get special treatment.
Special treatment.
From Majeed's special link. So we'll make sure that link is there for you. Feel free to message me personally if you have any questions about virtual summits, and I will probably send you to one of Mark's many valuable giveaways. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Expert Speaker Podcast. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and leave us a rating so that more people can discover the Expert Speaker Podcast and so more people can be empowered to share their message. Be sure to go to www.expertspeaker.com and take the masterclass to learn how to grow your business and make money speaking. It's totally free and will change your business. If you're ready to work with Expert Speaker, you can apply. Just go to expertspeaker.com/apply, and someone from our team will be in touch with you to help you grow your business with public speaking. That's expertspeaker.com/apply. We'll see you in the next episode.